Good morning, it's Phil Thatch, and today I'm at the Chickamauga Dam where my buddy Robert has let me in on the fact that there are osprey here like crazy. There's a nest and a power pole just, I don't know, maybe 20 yards behind the camera that's filming this. There's another nest across the way, and the youngsters are, there's one right there. The youngsters are learning to fish. I'm out here shooting with my D500 and my 200-500 f5.6. Earlier today I had my 1.4 teleconverter on and it's just not necessary, so I took it off, and I'm going to continue to try to get some photographs of these osprey fishing here in the tailwaters of the Chickamauga Dam on the Tennessee River in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Okay, so we'll jump right into the photos now. This first group of photos that I'm showing you is with the teleconverter right before I took it off. There's an osprey with a fish. And here is a double-crested cormorant with its beautiful blue eyes swimming in the Tennessee River. And here's another shot of the same cormorant. This one's looking up, possibly looking at an osprey. I really love those birds, very beautiful. Here is an osprey with a fish that it's caught flying in front of the railroad bridge. I believe this is the same osprey still flying with the fish. That's also the railroad bridge in the background. And this osprey has attempted to catch a fish, but it came up without one eventually. And here's an osprey that's kind of hovering because it has a fish in its sights. Now, if you look at this picture, I've gone down to 330 millimeters on the lens with the teleconverter, and this is what made me decide to take the teleconverter off as the bird was looking at me. That's the 10 Bridge Railroad Bridge behind me. Really fascinating bridge. I did a drone video of it one time. Maybe I'll put a link up above somewhere. It is hot on this early August afternoon. Cormorant. Okay, in this second set of photographs, I've taken the teleconverter off. So you'll see these are all at 500 millimeters or less, and they're all at 5.6. I love the man-made structures in the photographs. I don't think it takes away from the photographs at all. I think it tells the story of where these osprey are fishing. There's one with a catfish. And I love this photo. This is one of my favorites of the day. Not my very favorite, but one of my favorites. The osprey with a fish flying with the dam in the background in the shadows with the light shining through from the other side. And here's a high-key photo. What you do is you set your exposure for the bird, and it will completely blow out the sky as the background sometimes, and you get these beautiful high-key photos. Here is a immature osprey. You can tell by the orange eyes, and that's another high-key shot. And of course, at the Chickamauga Dam in Chattanooga, you see great blue heron quite a bit, and here is a double-crested cormorant coming in for a landing. It's got the brakes on with the wings out. Love those birds. Here is a great blue heron coming in for a landing, and next up I believe we have a couple of great blue heron getting into a bit of a tussle. I call this photo "It's all fun and games until someone punctures a lung." Here's my favorite photo of the day. Your opinion may vary. Let me know what your favorite is if you have one. This is an osprey with the power tower where its nest is high above this location in the background. And here is an osprey with its catch. Still down here at the dam shooting. Been here for about an hour or so. A lot of osprey activity, some cormorants, and of course the always here great blue heron. Got a little bit of a cloud now, so I've moved out of the shade of a tree, but it's back that way, a little closer to the dam. Going to keep trying. Put the teleconverter back on. Seen a lot of osprey catch fish, but a little bit out of range, even with the teleconverter, to get a good shot. And haven't seen one catch a large fish today. But we've seen 4 in the air at a time, while still being able to see another one perched over on a power tower. So that's pretty good. Pretty good day. I'm shooting full manual. There's some clouds, so my settings are varying. But just as an example, right now I'm at f8, which is the minimum aperture on a 5.6 lens with a 1.4 teleconverter. So I'm at f8, 1/3200th of a second, and 1600 ISO. Now I could slow that shutter speed down, but all this is in-flight photography, so I try to get as much shutter speed as I can stand. And the D500 is really not that bad at 1600 ISO. I think I may have just bagged an acceptable in-flight photo of a belted kingfisher, which really before today I've never even seen them here at the dam. But there was a pair of them flying by and I managed to lock focus on one, and I don't know, we'll see. But I think it may be an acceptable flight photo of a belted kingfisher. I think the one I got was a female. Well, there it is, the Kingfisher in-flight photo. It's not as great as I was thinking at the time, but it's better than nothing, and I was pleased to get it in focus with a teleconverter. Here's more of what you would see all the time at the dam, a great blue heron in flight, and here is a double-crested cormorant as it flew by my location. Now, I love to go to the dam just to make great blue heron photos because there's so much personality to this bird, such a unique looker. And even when I very first started making photographs of birds, I would always go here and try to see how close I could get to a great blue heron. And with a teleconverter on a 500mm lens, you can get pretty close. Here comes one. So it's a mostly sunny day, but there are some pretty thick clouds, and from time to time one of them will go in front of the sun, and when it does you have to really make pretty drastic changes to your exposure by either reducing shutter speed or increasing ISO. I always shoot wide open. I know a lot of other bird photographers stop down a little bit, but this lens is pretty good wide open, so that's where I like to shoot with it. Also, you know, when you're shooting with a teleconverter, and sometimes even when you're not shooting with a teleconverter, you might be focusing on a bird with kind of a plain background and the lens just won't get it. So what I do is I point the camera quickly at something that's about the same distance away, focus on it real quick, then go back to the bird, and usually the camera will nail it. That's not an Nikon problem. It is kind of a teleconverter problem. But you know, I've heard Arthur Morris talk about his Sony cameras needing to do that. So, you know, that's just a way to help your camera focus. I think Denise I, as I like to call her, called it pre-focusing, getting the focus point of your camera pretty close to where you think the bird's going to be, and then you're much more likely to acquire focus when a bird does come by. Looks like the Osprey are calling it a day. They are not flying around too much anymore. Most of them are roosting in various places. So I think I'm going to call it a day as well. Thanks for watching Phil Thatcher Photography from right here at the Chickamauga Dam in Chattanooga, Tennessee on the Tennessee River. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.